Last time on Shadow Piece, Koribu returned and felt ready to put Vasco Shot in his place. At first it worked out like he wanted to. With pure strategy, he simulated devil fruit attacks from his siblings to close the gap between himself and a Yonko top follower. Sadly, that was his limit. Even with improvised, unpredictable tactics, he couldn't overcome the difference in power completely. It didn't help either that the Titanic Captain was capable of healing himself with a liquid he could freely produce because of his devil fruit. Just like many other things in life, this felt completely unfair. As slaughter unfolded, the more the exhaustion hit Koribu again. Slash after slash, he bled more and more, until a big double slash over his chest knocked him backwards and onto the ground. The heavy drinker was just mocking his opponent, and before Koribu could get back up again, Smoothie crawled towards her lover and stopped him from moving completely. Maybe it would be better to let it all end fast than to continue to suffer. Blood, sweat and tears, all of these things fell on the ground as she squeezed her partner tightly, and the Blackbeard pirate approached them. Koribu breathed heavily. He understood what the Sweet Commander was doing, but he wanted a future together that lasted longer than just a few more seconds. So he bet everything on a pure gamble. He grabbed Smoothie's arm and pressed them even more tightly on himself.
Koribu style, squeeze to win!
At last, Hail Nika, attempting to reach new heights to ascend to a new power level. Vasco Shot was about to unleash a powerful attack to erase the two Strawhat Pirates, but then he felt something connect with his stomach. His surroundings changed rapidly as he flew across the island. He saw the dead body of Van Augur and all the massive damage that happened on their home base already, before crashing in between two people, interrupting their fights. To be precise, it was the Titanic Captain Kuzan, who didn't show any concern for who was technically his nakama. Maybe I should have picked a more competent crew for my goal. Maybe I should have just created my own. Or what if I just joined yours? It felt like a taunt. He almost killed a brother of this person by freezing them, and also kidnapped his little sister. Considering the future, letting Kuzan join the Big Mom Pirates would be a massive win. But this time, the Quiet Warrior chose to go with his own feelings. Father Mochi! Go to hell, you popsicle bastard! A gigantic armament haki covered fist-formed Mochi appeared above Katakuri. Just like his enemy, he ignored the other Titanic Captain, even though he was curious who could send such a pole fighter across the entire pirate island. Iced Mochi! The previous Marine Admiral did not seem bothered by the attack at all. Mockingly, he even called his own attack with Mochi. They had battled for a while already, and it was unclear which side had the advantage, as both hadn't gone all out yet. In a war, you always had to keep enough energy for future fights after all. With the heavy drinker getting back up, Katakuri had two commanders in front of him, so he had to use up more stamina than wanted. His advanced observation haki allowed him to see into the future, and his serious face turned into a smile, even though no one could see it, as it was still covered by a scarf. Kuzan, this is our 1 versus 1. Nothing will change that. Vasco Shot felt like he was being underestimated. So he pulled out another flask he hid somewhere else on his body. Big Mom's first commander, don't you dare look down on me. This is my ultimate brew that makes me the 4th strongest Titanic Captain. A plop could be heard with the opening of the container. However, before it reached his mouth, the hero arrived. I think you had enough to drink. It's time to start your rehabilitation. This was what Katakuri had seen in the future. While the figure was unknown, personality was enough to recognize one of his family newcomers. Looking good there, Koribu. In the past, he was a man burdened with the weight of his own actions. His broad, rounded frame seemed to struggle beneath this snug white shirt. Koribu always slouched his shoulders, be it because of a lack of confidence or simply his weight. It was not lost on Katakuri that such a physique was not ideal for fighting, but the power he felt from his little brother's thick arms proved that he was not just lazy, and his mother was also another case of being not in the ideal fighting shape. His eyes always felt like they had some sort of hidden potential, and now the top member of the Strawhat family got to witness exactly that. This new and improved Koribu was like a butterfly that just broke out of its cocoon. After his already long battle, the same white shirt was now sliced open and covered in bloodstains, revealing his much more defined torso. The once slouched shoulders stood proud, muscle now shaping their form. Arms that had once seemed heavy now rippled with quiet strength, his veins slightly pronounced beneath his firm skin. His once soft jawline had sharpened, revealing cheekbones that hinted at the youth he had reclaimed. After a sprint to catch up to Vasco's shot, he had lost two things though. First, his pants. Those were way too loose now that he lost weight. And second, his green lizard pets that acted as a wig for his bald head. A lot had changed. Gone was the sluggishness, the weight of defeat. In its place stood a man who took a risk to save his beloved woman and succeeded. Transformed, but still recognizable, this Koribu had overcome the gap that separated him from the top. I will come back to help you, big brother, but first, I have to take care of that guy. The bloody ocean pointed at Vasco's shot to declare his target to everyone, but the heavy drinker just laughed. You really think you can defeat me? That first strike was just a surprise. Whether it was to cope or what he really thought, Koribu couldn't help but chuckle at the situation. That criminal just couldn't accept that he was certain to lose this fight. With the fat that always held him back gone, not even the wind noticed that he had moved already. It really was like he entered a new realm. His sheer speed was enough to overwhelm his opponent. He grabbed the Blackbeard pirate by the throat and smashed him onto the ground. It's time to go on a journey. This one's for you, Bretty Anglais. Koribu style. Reckless driving. It didn't matter if there was a boulder, a house, or even a group of pirates fighting each other. Just like the name implied, Koribu charged through all of Hachinosu recklessly, leaving a trail of destruction with the head of Vasco shot. Once back at the place where Smoothie was, the Titanic captain's face could only be described as a bloody mess. Koribu, you? Her voice was shaky, filled with concern and uncertainty. I'm sorry, Smoothie. I got the gloves you got me dirty with that guy's blood, but hey, at least they fit now. After Koribu got his technical victory over Cracker, Smoothie held up her promise and got the custom gloves from the black market creator. However, through some mistake, the size was much too small, but the thin Koribu could wear them now. While they were having a conversation and staring at each other lovingly, Vasco's shot got back up, one last time, sprinting towards the two while breathing heavily. Fire breath! He couldn't even finish his shout when he felt Koribu's hand on his neck again, even though he was still standing in front of him a mere moment ago. Fire? Oh no. I guess I need to put it out somehow. A final dash and head-first dive into the vicious sea surrounding Hachinosu Island that was even more dangerous than usual because of the battles shaking it up. The time for talking was over. A few more pathetic punches and kicks were thrown by Vasco's shot, but the longer they spent underwater, the more the weakness of a devil fruit user came to light. And then he let his opponent go and swam back up again. His fight was over, and he was the last one standing. She may be a battle-hardened pirate, but the sight of her lover surpassing his own limits again and again to protect her brought even her to tears. And when Koribu picked her up like a princess, she even got embarrassed. The next step was to rush back to their ship and order Brulé to bring Smoothie back to Whole Cake Island to let the crew doctor take care of her. For her, the participation in the war was over. However, for Koribu, there were still things he needed to do. 2 more Titanic captains had found their end, which meant that a total of 40% of Blackbeard's commanders were gone already. Not that he really cared for them anyways. And this is the end of today's episode of Shadow Piece, and the end of another fight for our last saga. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you look forward for future battles. I already teased the battle between Kuzan and Katakuri now, but that will not be the next battle we are going to look at. I hope you look forward to whatever is going to come next, and we will see each other again in the next week. But for now, all that's left to be said is stay happy, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay cultured. Pyro, out. Bye!